Hey people, you are finally back with Bwnci, and I am back with the human infiltrator again. Third time's the charm. I'll explain why we're whipping out ye old vanilla again shortly. Let's just take a look at the build first and move on from there, okay guys? The build, something similar from how I first brought him to you, okay guys? Tactical Cloak, however, we're going to go with damage, recharge speed, and get ourselves that sniper damage evolution, okay? Yes, it's going to be a sniper build, technically. Cryoblast is the same as always, guys. You always want Cryoblast this way. Go with the radius, the cryo explosion, and the frozen vulnerability. That's a great debuff there. Sticky grenade, we're going to just have the 5 ranks in this, okay? This is going to do our armor damage. Go with the damage evolution at rank 4 and the armor piercing at rank 5, okay guys? Then for your alliance training, okay, go back to weapon damage, power damage, and weapon damage, okay guys? It is a weapons platform again. You've got enough points in for 3 ranks in your fitness to score you that 625 health and shield so that you don't die when a Bwnci sneezes on you. Okay then, so here's the big change. I'm slapping the key shock on this bad boy. I know I've done a gun run on this and some of you might be familiar, but you're about to realise the true potential of the key shock harpoon gun right now, okay guys? Stick on the extended barrel and the enhanced scope, okay guys? That's all you're going to need for this. It's going to increase your damage and let you see through smoke. You can't pierce with any of the projectile weapons like this, okay guys? So don't bother with those mods. For your equipment, okay guys, like again, you can't pierce, and trust me, you want yourself an elemental ammo anyway. Get your incendiary rounds on here, your highest ones if you got them, 3 and 4, stick them on. For your armor bonus, I do recommend that you go with the cyclonic modulator, okay guys? The key shock is tricky, and I'll explain how to use it again, don't you worry, but in circumstances where you do miss, you kind of want to survive the hit that comes back your way, okay guys? If you haven't got the cyclonic modulator, get yourself a power amplifier, okay guys, and up your damage of your sticky grenades. For your gear bonus, guys, just get the sniper damage, okay guys? We're going to really do in some enemies with our key shock harpoon gun, okay guys? Go with the sniper rifle amp here, and for your weapons bonus, get the sniper rifle rail amp, okay? That's all you're going to need to wreck up the place now. Let's show you how that works. Okay, here's the gameplay. First of a new year, and Happy New Year to all of you. It did take way longer than expected to bring you another gameplay after the Phoenix Adept, and I apologise for that. I also really appreciate all of you who have stuck with me, and also hello to all of you who have joined me recently. I'm playing with some new subs in this gameplay, who I will introduce in a moment. But what I have to say is I've noticed a wave of new subscribers rather recently, which might suggest there's some new interest in the game to keep her alive for all the die-hard fans. Hopefully I can do that for you too. As I was saying, this game did take way longer than planned to put together. Twas the season, not longer than my last video, so I was busy catching up with family and old friends and shopping for said people, and when I was on the receiving end I was bouncing to the Basement Jacks at Brixton Academy in London, which was fucking incredible. So I hope you all had a great Christmas too. Fortunately, Father Christmas didn't bring me a next-gen console, because he knows, frankly, there's nothing interesting about them yet, and I don't need that hole burnt through my wallet anytime soon. So you still got me on the 360, guys, to bring you something like this. I'd make it a New Year's resolution now to bring you videos more frequently, but me and some friends made a pact to give up giving up stuff a good few years back, and that's been working really well, so it'd be a shame to break that now. Hopefully you can all just enjoy the content I release whenever I can find the chance to release it, so stay subscribed for that, but let's finally talk about what's going on here, okay guys? I'm gaming with 2 of my newer subs, Reax Jr., I'm yet to meet Senior, and Novocaine88. Not just new to me, they're new to the game as well. I've set it to Reapers for said reason, and I'm going to apologise for that too, guys. I got a bit of a string of Reaper games for you now, but there is method to my madness. They really are the easiest faction to fight nowadays. Besides a few cheap manoeuvres from the Bwncis, there are actually few surprises from the faction, okay guys? Plus the majority of their units are large and slow, making them easier to evade and hit back. I didn't want to bring these boys in to carry them. That's just not going to be any fun. So, you know, they're going to be using the best setup and strategy they can put together right now with what they got, and they're going to do well this game, okay? But what I'm doing this game, however, is bringing the human infiltrator back to his roots. I've always preferred this kit as a weapons platform, and with Tactical Cloak and Cryoblast, frankly, that's what he or she is best at. It's a colossal weapons boost, over 105% with sniper rifles, with a great debuffer. The combo has the potential for some serious weapon damage on the field, it really does. I was led astray with the release of the Alliance Infiltration Unit, which, much like Will Smith in a sadly similar sci-fi story, I feared was set to completely replace the need for the hard-working human. The debuff she has may be smaller, but with its instant effect and incredible range, plus its greater target capacity, it hits 3 rather than 2, and ability to go through solid objects, coupled with that booster shotgun damage, the AIU is simply capable of greater DPS with that strategy that I had before. Since shotguns generally fire faster and hit more targets than sniper rifles as well, guys. Still, I've managed to find a nice niche, for the human infiltrator within that tactical cold gunplay area, freeing up the sticky grenade build for another character to expand my roster, but you'll see that in the next video. I've learned a lot. I learned a lot on about the game after my Bwnci builds videos, and I've been able to introduce a unique way to play the game with nearly every character as a result. I'll get more into that later because it is pretty cool, frankly, but let me tell you why the third time's the charm with the human infiltrator, guys. Now, I can't tell you why it took me this long to put these together. I can only assume it's because the gun can be very difficult to use, but the Keyshock harpoon gun is like a part of the human infiltrator that I only realised recently was missing. This cold killer is destined for the Keyshock, guys. It completes him. Like an Arctic whaler, you're set to do massive damage with this loadout. The obvious sniper rifle trait, I'm sure, leads thousands to this weapon class, but despite the massive damage potential, shield gate would always be a major issue for you on this kit, okay? With any other gun from this category, you'd usually want some sort of shield stripping ability. Powers like energy drain and arc grenade spawn 2 of the best sniper kits in the game. Otherwise, you're looking at having the excess damage from your shot after it's destroyed an enemy's shield get reduced by 75%. This hurts you, okay, as every shielded enemy is going to require at least 2 shots as a result of that, slowing you down, leaving you vulnerable, and opening you up to some butt hurt, to be frank, because your kills can be stolen really easily in that situation. Snipers just traditionally have small clips on long reloads and require some precision, so with no way round shields, you can cut your efficiency in half. So, you know, if you're not one of the lucky few with a shield stripping power, like the human infiltrator, your best bet then is equipment, like phasic rounds or at a stretch disruptor rounds. However, what you gain in shield damage, you lose against armor, the defense you want to be ready for in this game, okay guys, because it soaks up a lot of damage, so ideally you want to do as much as you can to it. None of this is an issue for the Keyshock, however, okay? You'll see Marauders flying everywhere in this game. Just watch them. Shield gate, what? Shield gate, who? They're going all over the place. The projectiles from the Keyshock completely ignore shield gate. So once you've cloaked and cryoblasted that enemy, one harpoon straight to the chest will just floor them. No fancy smancy headshot required. Just a quick and clean strike you can belt out quite rapidly. Really can. The Keyshock can be quite difficult to connect with, but fortunately, Cryoblast doesn't just soften up your target so that a shot to anywhere kills it, but it staggers and slows them down long enough for you to easily line up your shot. The Keyshock is really best used like a pistol, and I recommend you charge down the enemy with the mentality of someone with a shotgun. The only aspect of it being a sniper rifle worth considering is where you're going to get your damage bonuses from, and we're getting a big bonus from that rank 6 evolution in Tactical Cloak. I've got a whole video dedicated to how this Keyshock works in my gun run playlist, so to avoid boring anyone who's seen that already, I'm just going to summarise here, okay? The Keyshock shoots projectiles, and those are affected by gravity in this game, and they have to physically travel from you to where you're aiming. This means that your shots won't hit instantly, and they won't fly straight. So the further away you are from your target, the longer it's going to take to hit it, and the closer it's going to get to the ground. So if you want to land a long-range shot, you've got to aim higher and over to where you think the enemy will be by the time it reaches them. See, the latter of that is called leading, and it's essentially about creating the appropriate crossroad for the enemy and your bullet. Like getting that last Space Invader. You want to be shooting where it's going to be instead of where it actually is. that takes some practice, okay, guys? And it's also why it's better to just throw the key shock at the enemy when you're playing off-host. To avoid all that bullshit, just get in mid to close range, line that shot up from your hip, then take aim and fire in quick succession, okay? Lining your shots up from your hip will help you avoid the slower movement and limited vision of scoped aim for the majority of the game. And you also don't have to worry about charge-down enemies catching you by surprise either, okay, guys? Because the key shock is also the only other sniper rifle to not suffer a hip-fire penalty. So in a pinch, you can just pull the trigger. Don't fear armor plating either, guys. Okay, guys, the projectiles are huge. They're so large that they will go straight through a Guardian shield, and those little platings at the Marauders, like the slap on the cannibals and stuff, just shoot them, you'll get them. Just strike fast and strike often. The Keyshock's got a wicked clip, and it reloads super quick, okay? So Cryoblast with Radius is going to freeze up 2 bums each time, and you can knock them both off before you need a cloak again. Trust me. But you do need to be aware that despite this ability to completely smash the mooks up, the Keyshock does fall short against bosses, however. This is likely due to how the damage is split with every shot and, you know, the implications of such a mechanic. See, the Keyshock does bleed damage, see? This is a damage over time effect that makes up 40% of the total damage the gun is set to do. And this portion does not benefit from any of your weapon bonuses besides the sniper damage evolution and tactical cloak, making every shot significantly weaker than you might expect if you were comparing these numbers online. See, because the Keyshock looks like it's set to rival the Javelin in boss killing, but thanks to this mechanic, it doesn't come close. It really doesn't. Not only is this bleed damage down over 150%, but you're not even going to see it done for another 5 seconds, because that's how long the damage gets done, takes to get, you know, tick out. And, you know, to offset what this means to your headshots, the Keyshock does have a 50% larger bonus than usual, so it will triple your damage on headshot instead of the common 2.5 multiplier. Unfortunately, though, this kind of special headshot bonus doesn't mean dick to a boss, so only 60% of your shot will receive the usual 1.4 multiplier for boss enemies. See, only headshot bonuses in your passives and your equipment add towards your standard multiplier for bosses. So whatever 40% of your shot is, you will receive a... no, your shot will be increased by 20, 30 or 35% with either the headshots evolution or the targeting and vulnerability VIs. E.g., if your gun does 100 damage per shot as its base value, a headshot on a boss would score you an extra 40 damage, and a vulnerability VI would score you another 8, because that's 20% of your headshot bonuses, totaling at 148 damage. That's how the headshot, you know, math is calculated. But yeah, sadly, weapon headshot bonuses have no effect on bosses, and neither do any of the multiplicative headshot bonuses either, such as the headshot evolution in Marksman or the pistol cranial trauma system mod. They have no effect either. What they do is stack on top of the headshot bonus for trash mobs, so they can bring up their 2.5 multiplier to 2.75 or 2.9. Okay, so that's pretty tidy, although you do get a bigger bonus with additive bonuses. But, you know, you don't have to worry about armor damage reduction, because as a projectile weapon the Keyshock ignores it as well. But if you want to do a lot of damage to armor quickly using the Keyshock, you best just cloak cryo shooting repeatedly and stacking that dot, okay? The reload speed of the gun alone should enable you to stack that damage pretty high, but if you get reload cancelling down too, guys, it'll add up fast. It really will. Much faster than using the charge shot. Trust me, I haven't mentioned that yet, but this gun does have a charge ability. It takes far too long and adds far too little damage to be worth it, okay, guys? The only time it's worth whipping up the charge shot is for phantoms. If you start charging before you cloak, she'll put up a barrier as soon as you fire Cryoblast at her. That'll make her more stationary than Cryoblast could ever hope to, and then you just release that charge shot in her face and you'll take her out in a single hit, okay? That's how you're going to wreck your phantoms with this build. But now you're aware of the efficiencies and deficiencies of the Keyshock harpoon gun, I'd like to remind you who we're using it on. Okay, guys, this is the other amazing thing about this loadout. You don't need to struggle against armor like I described, because you're the human infiltrator and you've got sticky grenades. And now you can just snowplow through anything the game throws at you. On their own, when a sticky grenade goes bang, they really hurt armor. But one hidden attribute of this power, if anyone remembers the last build I had on this guy, is that the projectile behaves like one from your gun. So on contact, the sticky will apply your ammo bonus just as efficiently as the projectiles from your gun. So again, because we're using a projectile weapon like the Keyshock, we're almost guaranteed every time to apply the ammo bonus. Now, that's a given with a damage increase, I know, but with elemental ammo, that also means a tech explosion primer. So using Incendiary 4, when if you're using Incendiary 4 like me, when you stick it to an enemy, they will receive 50% of your weapon's base damage value, and that's 556.7 damage to health and armor with the Keyshock 10, and you will set them on fire. Okay, so after that the grenade explodes, dealing 5,259 damage, and sets off the fire explosion. It just primed itself. Fire explosions hit just as hard as biotic explosions at their base, making them one of the strongest in the game, okay guys? And that damage is doubled when it's used against armor. This efficiently destroys your boss enemies, okay guys? You really don't need to worry about them. You may be worried about your throwing arm, but don't, okay? Those boss targets are designed to be all big and scary, making them really easy to stick in most circumstances, okay guys? If it's anything smaller than a Ravager, it's not worth sticking. Just poon that fool, trust me. Dragoons, Pyros, what are those? The bombers, they'll just go flying if you just tactical cloak, cryoblast them and shoot them. And the bombers are quite hilarious. They'll bounce around like they're a ping pong ball. But no, now to score that massive damage, you want to switch it up a bit. Okay, you can have your cake and you can eat it. You can get the tactical cloak boost and the cryoblast debuff attached to your sticky grenade attack without that bonus power evolution in tactical cloak. See, once you cloak, throw the sticky first, okay? Because grenade and mine powers don't break cloak for whatever reason. So then, when you use cryoblast, the debuff will hit the enemy and the grenade will explode all within tactical cloak's damage boost window. See, tactical cloak will provide a bonus damage to all power, melee, and weapon attacks. Not your ammo damage, though. And, they'll do all that hit during the invisibility that hit during your invisibility, and 2.5 seconds afterwards. It's not enough to simply cast a power when it's in this window, okay? It actually has to damage something while you're in this window to gain the boost. I mean, you can plant a proximity mine or a scorpion round while cloaked, for example. But if it isn't detonated by the enemy until you're visible, there will be no damage increase. However, you can plant a proxy mine when you're visible and cloak as the enemy walks over it, and it will see a damage increase. This is how you can get the most out of your sticky grenades and still have that sniper damage as the icing on top, okay guys? You can do a lot of damage everywhere to everything with this build. Now, you don't want to be sticking an enemy who has a power barrier up like Banshees and Praetorians often do. Your sticky grenade will just disappear. If you goes on that barrier, they're gone. They just disappear from existence. You also don't want to be wasting your stickies on boss shields, okay guys, because they do a lot of damage to armor, not shields and barriers, okay guys? If you really want to see those bars go down, get the shields and barriers off first and then you stick them, okay? Fortunately, you can tear those down fairly quickly in the way I described before, okay? The incendiary round stop will work in conjunction with the bleed damage. Obviously not on shields and barriers, but, against Banshees like I was doing earlier. And, in a pinch, you can actually plant a sticky on the floor near a Banshee to hit her with the explosion, okay? Just note, you've got to note just how all the cogs are spinning here, okay, for a really well-oiled, destructive machine. This is absolutely my favourite build ever for the human infiltrator. It really is. I mean, it and the Keyshock cover every base. You'll only be slowed down by Praetorians and Atlas shields and, the Banshee's erratic movements. But, just keep drilling her with harpoons and she will fall quite quickly. Now, I just hope you note that the right time and the right way to use everything, like I'm saying here, okay, guys, because that bit about the tactical cloak bonus is actually, that bit about how the tactical cloak bonus is actually applied is a question that was raised a long time ago on the original guide that I did for this character, and I had actually forgotten to look into it sooner, but I have now. It was after the Bwnci build videos I ended up doing a lot of research on this game, because some interesting questions were asked about the sticky grenade bug, and I just didn't have the answers for them. So when I started looking, one page of data just led to the other, and I ended up finding many interesting little game changes. And I've learned a lot more about how this game truly works in most areas, and I hope to clear everything up in the upcoming videos. Okay, guys, there's going to be more than just this human infiltrator video following up the Phoenix Adept. Needless to say, the facts of the sticky grenade bug were largely exaggerated by me in my last guide to this character, as I originally heard all about it through friends and stuff, okay? But now that I've looked into it personally myself, any videos about it is just littered with annotations that clarify things now, and my next video will set the record straight, okay, guys? You don't need to go and read all those annotations now. I've got a video coming up for you that is going to make sure you understand perfectly what the sticky grenade bug is all about. But what you're going to find in all of my videos now is there's a lot of annotations in my old videos nowadays. Okay, bringing them. It's all about they're all there to sort of bring them up to date with what I'm doing now, and filling in gaps of information that I didn't that I forgot to add when I was commentating. Because this is quite tricky, guys. It is quite hard to do these commentaries. So I do miss stuff, so the annotations fill in the stuff that I miss, and I'm correcting any mistakes I've made before, okay, guys, because it does happen. It's shocking, I know, I make mistakes. I guess I'm human. But you will also find, even in my Bwnci build videos, that a lot of them have been updated based on what I've learned since then. Or sometimes it was a case of me just seeing how similar a few of my builds were once I put them side by side, so I've made some changes there. Because I noticed just how much my Turian Havoc played like my Volus Protector, and I'm not going to do any of that. So the Havoc's seen some changes, and it's worth checking out the annotations in the build section of that video. But again, there's also annotations within the gameplay of that video explaining the mechanics of Havoc Strike, which I got wrong originally, or have changed since I did that video, which I think is actually the truth of the matter. But yeah, and there was also characters in Bwnci's builds that needed annotations because I actually forgot to update them before I recorded. My Turian, no, not Turian, my Batarian, Soldier and Sentinel. I had an update for them before I actually recorded the video, but I didn't use the reset card or in time. So check out. It is worth looking through my Bwnci's builds videos at the very least to see what you're missing out on. If you're interested in my guides at all, and you've got this far into the video, so I think you do. But I'm also aware, guys, that mobile users cannot see the annotations in these videos, okay? So what I've also gone ahead and done, I've taken the time to do, see, this whole time I haven't been uploading, I have still actually been working on my videos for all of you, okay? I've gone ahead and made a record of the most up-to-date versions of all my builds in each of the video descriptions. I've done that using the Mass Effect 3 character builder by Callance. I know I've told you all about Neridia, but the Callance builder is much easier to look at. Neridia is actually quite pretty. It's almost like looking at the N7 HQ. In fact, the N7 HQ could have really benefited with a page like the Callance character builder. So check them out, okay, guys? I hope all of you will get on with that. And there are also links to every build I describe in the videos as well, because in a lot of the build videos, if there's multiple ways, really effective ways to play the character, I told you about them. Sometimes I forgot, and I've added them in as annotations as well. But, all these builds, I've got a little link for you as well in the video description, so you can get the most up-to-date and effective versions of all the builds, even the ones I don't feature. I hope that came out clear enough. However, I do stress that you try to watch these videos on a computer. Okay, guys, the annotations do not just update builds, they update all the information throughout the video. Mechanics, strategies, the works, everything's... it's like... One thing I went out my way to do is because some of you may be aware that I don't like the sentry turret power that a couple of the characters have. I've always had my problems with it, and some people don't understand why I have my problems with it, so what I decided to do was look into the mechanics of the sentry turret to see whether my problems with it actually match up with its mechanics, and yeah, they do. So if you look at something like the Turian... Look at me, I'm completely surrounded here. These guys have got to go. No, if you look at the Turian Saboteur video, just the build section, okay, guys, I've literally plastered my rant over the sentry turret with the mechanics of the sentry turret, and that's why it doesn't work the way I want it to work, okay, guys, because those are the mechanics right there. So literally go and check those out, anything you're sort of interested in. You know, especially if you've got some personal favourites of my builds, literally go watch the build videos again. There's probably something new about them. There's very few of my builds that I haven't done a little update to. But yeah, you want it. I've named a few that definitely worth checking out. Okay, guys, but we're wrapping up here. I believe we get full extraction this video. We might lose the pug. I don't think the Reacts Junior or Novocaine are going to go down. I think this is we had a good fun this game. We had a good few fun with a lot of the other games. You should have seen the game I was trying to record before this. That was that was insane. Partly why I actually switched over to the Reapers. Yeah, the Hazard Glacier does does mess up some people. But no, you're not going to see that, don't worry about it. That's pretty much all there is for this video though, okay guys? Please comment, subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you liked it and you want to hear more, okay guys? Because you will be hearing again, no, so you'll be hearing from me again rather soon, okay guys? I've got all the gameplays I want to upload recorded. I've got a lot of the commentaries already, well, the notes for the commentaries already down, okay guys, so I can just sort of jump in front of my computer and start talking shit like I am now, okay guys, and hopefully I'll get them all out really quickly, okay guys. I don't want to tell you who's on the way because these are all characters that no, this is actually the only character I'm updating. All the other characters are characters I've never shown you before, okay guys, so we'll see which characters I finally worked out how to bring into the game in a unique way. I hope you enjoy it, and I'm also going to be filling in a request for a gun that everybody requested. Well, that's been requested the most, so yeah, that's on the way. That's going to be attached to one of the character builds, and it's not just for the novelty's sake, it's because it fucking works, guys, okay guys? So yeah, comment, rate and subscribe, let me know what you want. Hope to see you forever. Never leave me, guys, it hurts. Bye bye guys, take care of yourselves.